Hi there, nice to meet you. My name's Toadie, and today I'm going to be drawing an A-themed Animal Crossing illustration. I have been absolutely beside myself since September of last year when Nintendo first originally announced that they were creating a brand new Animal Crossing installment for the Nintendo Switch. But now it's been 9 months and we finally have some new information from E3 2019. We don't only have a new title and release date, but also some gameplay footage and a brand new trailer, and oh my god, does this game look amazing or what? Nintendo has completely reimagined the old game to take place on a deserted island where you have to craft everything from scratch, and even though it's in really early development, it looks like they have a lot of new mechanics figured out for us, and I am so excited to get my hands on it. This game has always been so close to my heart, and seeing it reimagined like this just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, and I'm super excited to play it. So hopefully March 20th, 2020 is an amazing day for me. But we should probably talk a little bit about the illustration, huh? I knew I wanted to do an Animal Crossing themed illustration, but what I actually wanted to draw was still kind of a question for me. So I did a little bit of brainstorming and realized I wanted to draw some villagers. And I thought I was going to do a full illustration with all of the villagers, but then after looking online, I realized that there were actually about 500 villagers in all of the games, and that's a little hefty for one illustration, so I thought instead, because this specific website that I was on had them listed in alphabetical order, I would just divide them up into 26 categories, aka every letter of the alphabet, and that would be a little bit more manageable to deal with rather than doing all 500 in one illustration. So that's what I did. I laid down a honkin' A right in the middle of the page and then started tracing some animal designs around the border. And of course, these were all of the villagers that had names that started with A. To be completely honest, I had a very difficult time on this sketch layer. You can see I literally had my finger resting on the home button so I could flip back and forth between Procreate and the online references that I was looking at. But on top of that, I had to move everything around over and over to make it fit in a way that I like, which was all in vain because I ended up forgetting 2 villagers anyway, which I then went and added back in during this pink line art layer. Usually you'll hear me say that I don't like doing line art out of everything else in an illustration, but it was actually so much easier. I could just redraw over everything that I had already done, and it was surprisingly for once the least time consuming thing out of this whole illustration. So I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I usually do. I got to reshape them a little bit better, and I think they just turned out super cute in this line art layer, which I usually don't achieve, so I was feeling pretty proud of myself, to say the least. During this coloring process, I decided to go off book and be a little bit more experimental with the colors that I was using. Even though it wasn't true to what the villagers actually had, or at least for a lot of them, I thought it made the illustration flow a lot more cohesively. I just desaturated a lot of the tones and made them more warm or cool depending on which villagers they were next to, like Isle, which is that blue and orange bear in the corner who has tears in his eyes. He is a lot more saturated, and I can say that for a lot of the villagers in this, but in order to get a nice pastel feeling illustration, I changed a lot of their hues, and I think it worked out pretty well in the end. So yes, if you're wondering, this is where I finally decided to stick in those villagers that I had forgotten about earlier in the illustration. It was a pain in the butt to stick these guys in halfway through the coloring process, and where I put them wasn't even where they ended up in the final illustration. I did have to move everyone around again, but once I put that purple shape in the background, paired it with the roundness of the villagers' formation too, I think it started looking a lot nicer. It definitely needed that grounding shape, and the boldness of it paired with that giant A and the pastelness of the villagers, just really started to give it that storybook feel that I was really going for. So, as I finish up the rest of this illustration, let me know what you guys think. I can either do a full series, 26 videos long, of each letter, or maybe I can update a little less frequently, put a couple letters in an illustration, be a little bit less in depth about it, or I could just do a full long video of the whole process when I finish it. If you have opinions, feel free to let me know. I'm super indecisive about these things, so I could definitely use the help. So, what do you guys think? I believe that this illustration turned out super dreamy and adorable, and even though I'm not usually one for fan art, I'm really pleased with how this came out, and I'm glad that I hopped on the Animal Crossing New Horizons bandwagon. I am so excited for this game to come out. Are you guys planning on buying it when it drops on Switch in March of next year? You already know I am, but thank you so much for watching. I had a ton of fun drawing this and hope to see you guys in the future while I draw more Animal Crossing alphabet illustrations.